Hello, today's video is a simple guide to the tasks you can complete on Fossil Island. This is a pretty short one-time activity you can do to get some free fossils. The reward in the end if you complete all of them is 10 small unidentified fossils and 10 medium ones. You can check the notice board just west of the general store in the Fossil Island camp. All of your completed tasks will be crossed off. Mine are all completed in this clip because I forgot to record a clip of the notice board until after I'd done the entire video, but I had the first section completed anyway. You can also follow along on the wiki and click tasks to highlight them to remember what you've completed. There are 4 sections split into different areas of Fossil Island, and once you've completed one section at a time, you'll be able to claim a reward. In the first section, the museum camp, the highest requirement is 29 construction and you just need some supplies. The supplies needed in total are 10 oak planks, 5 regular planks, 3 soft clay, 2 iron bars, 2 logs, 2 ropes, a bucket, 25 nails of any kind, a tinderbox, and a hammer. Here's the cost of all of these supplies. Pretty cheap. And it all just fits into your inventory. The first thing you probably want to build is the bank, which requires 2 oak planks, an iron bar, and 5 nails. And you should have a hammer on you for all of these. Next on the list is the cleaning bench, which you need 5 planks and 5 nails for. Then the well, which requires 2 oak planks, a bucket, a rope, and 5 nails. Then the cooking pot. For this you need 2 logs, a tinderbox, an iron bar, and 3 soft clay. The last 2 are in this little building. The spinning wheel requires 4 oak planks and 5 nails, and the loom requires 2 oak planks, a rope, and 5 nails. Once you're done, you can talk to Peter for 5 unidentified small fossils, which I'll show at the end of the video. Next is the Northern Reaches section. For this, the total supplies you'll need are a drift net, 200 numulite, a seaweed spore, a seed dibber, some type of fossil, and some calcite and pyrophosphite. It's recommended to also have diving equipment and either ultra compost or 200 more numulite to protect the seaweed patch. First on the list is unlocking the mush tree in the mushroom meadow. From the museum camp, this mush tree is to the northwest and isn't difficult to get to. Once you touch it, you have it unlocked permanently and can teleport to other mush trees from it, as long as you have them unlocked. Next on the list is feeding an enriched bone into the machine in the house on the hill. To get an enriched bone, you have to use the mycelium pool, which I happen to have a full guide on. This requires 10 to 20 calcite and pyrophosphite, and you need any type of fossil, unidentified or clean, as long as it's not a plant fossil. Basically, just run around popping bubbles until it's done. To get to the house on the hill, you have to go across this hill area. Here you can unlock this mush tree by touching it. Another task is to find the ancient diary, which is downstairs, behind the stairs in a pile of ancient books. Next on the list is to visit the task-only Wyvern Cave. The entrance is just south of the mush tree in the mushroom meadow. Next task is collecting mermaid tears. Normally going underwater you'd want diving gear you make during the Freeing Pirate Pete subquest in Recipe for Disaster, but you can't use these when collecting mermaid tears, so this is the one exception. You can bring flippers though, which essentially allow you to run underwater or just swim faster than a walking pace. In this area to the east there are air bubbles you can stop in to replenish your oxygen. To collect collect mermaid tears, I think you have to talk to Marin first, but I've already started this activity before. Then you just follow the arrows to reach a chest and search it. It's like the agility arena. You have to search one chest before you can start collecting tears, but there will be tears in the next one, and this completes your task. Next task is to set up a drift net. To enter the area to set up a drift net, you'll have to pay 200 numulite. And then you set up a drift net on these anchors. And the last task is to harvest seaweed. You can get seaweed spores from killing certain monsters or waiting in this area for them to spawn randomly. Then you can plant them in a patch and wait about 40 minutes for them to grow. You can pay the farmer Murnia 200 numulite for her to protect the seaweed to make sure it grows. And once it's done, you don't need any tools to harvest it. The reward for completing this section of tasks is 5 small fossils. Next is the southern swamps. For this section in total you will need an axe, a rake, breadcrumbs, 9 bittercap mushrooms, fungicide, a proboscis, and I recommend bringing some food and an anti-poison, which I forgot. And later on you'll need gear and food to fight the deranged archaeologist. First you want to unlock the mush tree southwest of the museum camp. Here's how you get there. You can use the rubber cap mushroom to go all the way to the mush tree without having to navigate the swamp, but this damages you up to 50 unless the mud pit has been filled with mushrooms, which it definitely hasn't if this is your first time visiting. You'll need to chop and rake vines to get to the mush tree if you don't want to use the rubber cap mushroom. And here is the mush tree. While you're here, you should fill the mud pit with mushrooms to complete a task. And chop a Suliosep, which always starts in this area, and once it's fully chopped, it moves to the next. I'm not completely sure if you just need to get one successful chop or if you need to chop it down completely, but I feel like it's the former because of the way it's worded on the wiki. Then another task is to poison a Suliosep, which you can do this by right-clicking and selecting Inject with fungicide and a proboscis in your inventory. Next is to stun a tar monster with a hoop snake. First you have to stun the snake, which you can do with a blunt weapon, or maybe you can use your hands too, but when I tried without a weapon I missed the snake, so I figured it wouldn't work. But now that I think about it, I probably just got unlucky and happened to miss that time. I swear I've stunned hoop snakes without a weapon before. Anyway, you can also use a staff for this, or any blunt weapon. And what you do is use the snake on the tar monster. You can use it on the bubbles before the monster comes out as well. This leaves the tar monster passive and unable to attack you or move. And southwest of the mush tree area is this bell shroom. Use your breadcrumbs on the bell shroom and it'll let you pass into a safe area where you can find Charles Charlington. Search him to complete another task, which is obtaining his diary. And the last task in this area is to kill the deranged archaeologist. Use a mix of prayer bonus gear and magic gear for this. It's best to prioritize prayer bonus over magic attack, but he is pretty easy to kill, so don't stress about it too much. In your inventory you could bring a couple of prayer potions, an anti-poison, food, an axe, and rake to get through the swamp, and whatever teleports you need. I actually didn't end up using any supplies, but if you're a lower level, you might want to bring some just in case, even though it's just one kill. You'll want to use Protect from missiles. He can use melee, but it's best to just stay out of melee range. And I'm using Augury, or you can use Mystic Might or whatever magic bonus prayer you have, although it's not necessary. He just has one simple special attack. He talks a lot, so you'll have to really watch out for when he says learn to read, because then he'll send out 3 orange books that explode. One book always hits the ground where the player was previously standing, and the other 2 are more random but generally in the same area. The book that explodes where the player was also bursts into 2 more books that explode when they hit the ground. The most damage is dealt if it hits you directly, but you can be hit a smaller amount standing next to an exploding book. Basically, all you need to know is just run away when you see the orange books. From the mush tree, here is how you get to the deranged archaeologist. Then you just climb over this decaying trunk and he's right there. And here's the kill I did. And once you've completed this section of tasks, you can claim the reward of 5 medium fossils. And the last section, Mountainous East. For this you will need a birdhouse or a log and a clockwork mechanism. If you're an Iron Man, you can make a clockwork mechanism at a crafting table 2 in your house with a steel bar. Make sure you're using a log you have both the crafting and hunter level to use, because each birdhouse is different. To craft a birdhouse you need a hammer and a chisel, and then 10 hop seeds or herb seeds. I'm using barley, a pickaxe, super compost, and 30 numulite. First on the list is unlocking the mush tree of Verdant Valley. To get here from the museum camp, you have to run southeast. Here you can touch the mush tree to unlock it. To make a birdhouse, you can use the logs on the clockwork and then click build in the birdhouse space. Then use the seeds on it to fill it. The task is to catch birds, so you have to wait some time and can check on it once in a while to see if it's caught anything. It will passively catch birds about every 5 minutes and can catch up to 10. So if you want to wait the full amount of time for it to be filled before dismantling it, you'll have to wait about 15 minutes. Next task is to mine some volcanic ash, which is found all around the volcano in these ash piles. Once you have at least 2, you can use them on your super compost to make ultra compost for another task. The next task is entering the volcanic mine, which requires 50 mining, 150 kudos, and 30 numulite. The entrance is found to the north around the volcano. Then the very last task is a rope shortcut to the east. This requires 64 agility, and once you're done with all of these, you can claim 5 medium fossils from Peter. Peter is located just west of the museum camp, and you can claim the fossils by talking to him about the island camp. After some dialogue, you will have 10 small fossils and 10 medium fossils. I've already collected the first 5 small fossils on this account, so just imagine there's more. And you can use these to complete the museum fossils or use them in the mycelium pool and get prayer XP. That's it for the video. I hope you all found this useful. I just thought this was an interesting activity that didn't already have a guide on it. So I hope this helped you complete your Fossil Island tasks, or I hope you at least found this entertaining to watch and learn some niche stuff about the game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.